It's a strange time to be alive. We have everything. Endless entertainment, infinite scrolling, entire worlds rendered in 4K at the press of a button. AI art, if you can call it that, rendered in seconds. And video games look more realistic than reality sometimes. And yet, more people than ever are building and painting tiny little plastic toy soldiers. Think about that for a second. In the age of instant everything, we are deliberately choosing something slow. Something fiddly, something actually creative, something that requires patience, concentration, and a fair amount of glue. But why? I've been thinking about this a lot, and the hobby isn't just surviving, it's actually thriving. And I don't think that's an accident. When I sit down to paint, it's usually in the evenings. The house is quiet, my family are usually in bed, no notifications or news that I care about. In fact, I don't even have my phone in arm's reach at all because frankly, I just don't care about it. Just a lamp, some good music, and a half-finished miniature staring right back at me. And something happens. The world shrinks, it zooms right down. It's not particularly deep, and I don't believe it's spiritual. It's just peace and stillness. You lick your brush, you hold your breath, you steady your hand, and you decide where the light hits the edge of a pauldron. That's it. No more noise. No one's asking anything of you. No one expects anything. No one needs any response, and no algorithm is measuring your engagement. It's just you making something exist that didn't exist before. And in 2026, that feels rare. So much of modern life is intangible. Files, clouds, streams, stories that disappear within 24 hours. A million stupid memes and group chats. But a miniature, it's solid. You drop it and it chips. You fix it. You remember that game where it survived at all odds. You remember the night you painted it fairly badly and didn't care one iota as long as you got it on the table. From the early days of Warhammer Rogue Trader up until now, this has not changed. You build it, you hold it, you keep it. It gathers history with you. It contains a little tiny piece of you, and that matters. And then there are the worlds, and let's be honest, Warhammer is entirely ridiculous. Cathedrals flying through void space, 10-foot tall super soldiers quoting scripture while swinging a cross between a medieval sword and a flipping chainsaw. Ancient betrayals stretched across 60+ novels in something like the Horus Heresy. It shouldn't work, but it does because it's myth. Not clean sci-fi, not grounded in realism. Myth. It's knights and demons and fallen suns, angels, gods and monsters. And somewhere between the absurdity and the sincerity, it hits something ancient. You don't just read it, you picture it, you dream it. And then, this is the profound part, you make it yours. That is the magic. Within something like Necromunda, you don't just have a Unit A, you actually have a ganger that you name and give a personality and a backstory to. You decide he's reckless, you give him a dodgy helmet, you swap his arm out, you swap a leg out here and there. The tiny act of changing something through painting or kit bashing is special because it's ownership. Modern entertainment these days doesn't really let you do that. Instead, you just consume it and then it's gone. Warhammer and this wargaming hobby lets you participate. The art helps too. The weird, gothic, slightly uncomfortable stuff shaped by people like John Blanche, never fully explained in itself. It's messy, suggestive, unsettling, and because it didn't spell everything out, your brain has room to wonder and fill in the gaps. I think that's part of why it's more popular now. So much modern media over-explains absolutely everything. It is dumbed down so much. Warhammer still leaves space. Space for your colour schemes, space for your backstory, space to let your imagination do some work. And then there are the people, the community, and this is another weird paradox, because this really is a solitary hobby. You paint alone, you read alone, you build alone, but then you take those creations and you sit across from another human being. No distractions, just dice, miniatures, terrain, shared understanding, and mutual respect. For a few hours, you both agree that this world is real. That's no small thing, that's ritual. In a world that's increasingly digital and disembodied, that kind of physical shared imagination feels so grounding. So why is the hobby bigger than ever? Because it gives us something that modern life quietly erodes. Focus, tactility, ownership, myth, community. And it's not anti-technology. I love technology, but this hobby feels like balance, like putting your hands back into something real. For me, it's not about chasing the best army or gang lists or putting the perfect edge highlight on my miniatures. It's about sitting down and building something that didn't exist yesterday. It's about taking this massive, absurd universe and carving out a little corner of it that's just mine. In an age where so much feels rented, this feels owned. We paint, we build, we play. Not for points, not for perfection, not for anyone else. We do it to carve out a little piece of the world that's ours and hold it in our hands.